Welcome to Spreadsheets with Dan. So today's lesson is about subtraction. This is we're going to use a very basic formula in Excel. This is a foundational exercise and will help you later on when you build a bit more knowledge and you're using more complex formulas. So in this lesson today, we're going to have three examples. The first one, we're going to do what I would call in-cell subtraction. And then the second, we're going to move on to a row or a horizontal subtraction. And then finally, we're going to do a column or a vertical subtraction. These are three good areas to practice in because it covers a variety of different types that you might come up against while using Excel. So, okay, let's just jump in and we will start filling these blue cells in where we are missing the information that we need in the sheet. So first, let's do this in-cell subtraction. So to start the formula, as in the last lesson, we're just going to type equals. Now we need to add in the 7,500 for production line 1, and then as production line 2 is not working, we need to remove that value from our production target. So type in minus and then 2,500 and press enter. That's all you need to do. No matter how long or how many things you need to subtract, you just type the number, press minus, type the number, press minus. When you get to the end, press enter. And you can see if we go back over the cell, the value in the cell, which is B6, is 5,000. But if we look at the formula bar, we've got 7,500 minus 2,500, and that returns a value of 5,000. If that's wrong, you could just delete and you could start the whole formula again. And you can change the values while you're in there using we can delete them until we get the formula right, and then once we're happy we press enter and then we can move on. So that is your in-cell formula for subtraction. Now we're going to move on to a slightly different format. We're going to use a row or a horizontal formula style. So what we're going to do here is we are going to deduct the number of sales from the sales target to work out the variance. So to do that, we're going to press equals, and then we're going to use the mouse or the cursor to select on C11. Once we've done that, we can press the minus key, and then we're going to press D11. And we can see, we press enter, and that accepts the formula. If we hover back over the cell, what we can see, it's returned the value of 350, which is the difference between the sales and the sales target. If we look at the formula bar, we can see the formula C11 minus D11. If we press F2, that activates the cell, and we can see that the colours, but inside of F2, you've got C11 that's blue and D11 that's red. And we can look over to the actual cells, C and D, you can see they're highlighted by the colours. This is a really helpful tool to see what is in the formula. So let's just keep repeating. Let's continue down the rows, and we will populate with the same formula. Equals. Now we're going to go to C12 minus D12. Press enter. Equals C13 minus D13. Enter. There we are, we've populated all them cells. And again, if you want to hover over, press F2, that will activate your formula. Alternatively, you can click in the formula bar, that will do the same. If you want to change one of these formulas, you can either change from the formula bar or you can retype. There are some more complex ways, but in the beginning, to build your foundations, this is a really good start to practice with. So finally, let's move on to the vertical column. So what we need to do is we need to the production target, and we need to deduct the value of pens of all the different colours and return the variance below. So to do this, we're just going to press equals. We're going to select our production target. We're going to press minus. Then we're going to press B18 minus B19 minus B20. Once we've done that, we press enter. We can see it's returned the value of 1,250. We can hover back over the cell. We can see the formula in the formula bar. We can press F2 to activate the cell. And we see now, as we've got 4 lines in there, we've now got a B17, which is blue, B18, which is red, B19, which is purple, and B20, which is green. If I was to use these formulas, the in-cell additions, if if I was to use these formulas, the in-cell subtraction is really good for calculating something really quickly or using Excel like a calculator. For my preference, if I was using in this format, I would probably use what we've done in the horizontal or the vertical, so what we've done in the columns and the rows, because I think the clicking and pressing subtract is a lot easier. Plus, I think if you make a mistake, you can see quite clearly in there, whereas if you make a mistake up here, it's a little bit, I think it's a little bit harder to see. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you'd like to join me in the next one. In the form